It was September 3rd, 2006, at the Lionsgate Hospital when I was born. It was a beautiful birth suite, private and cozy. At this point in time, I didn't really have a worldview yet, as the only place I knew was the hospital. My worldview had only been affected by geography, as I didn't know any other place. I had a normal routine. I would get up, eat breakfast, and basically enjoy life since I was so young. I had believed that everyone's lives were just the same as mine, and everyone in the world was happy and had everything they needed. I was wrong. I thought this way because I was born into a Vancouver home where I had everything I needed at my disposal. Everything I needed was there. I could walk into the living room, watch TV, watch the news, find out what's happening in the world. I could walk into the kitchen, grab some food or water, whatever I needed. Everything was at my disposal. I lived this way for a long while, until my parents signed me up for school at Cove Cliff Elementary. This broadened my worldview, as I was finally able to meet hundreds of new people at a time, and could choose the people I hung out with and the people who I didn't like. I started to grow my knowledge of the world outside of Canada, and started to learn how everyone is not as privileged as us. I was meeting new people, so I had a chance to learn about people around me and people outside of the Western worldview. This really helped me and broadened my worldview by a lot. Almost every year now, my family and I would travel to Las Vegas because that's where my grandparents lived. I loved visiting them so much. As we visited America, I started to see how the society you live in and the people who surround you affect you and the society as a whole. I saw that in America, it was more socially acceptable to be overweight, as the society as a whole had succumbed to it. I started to see how where you lived affected your personality and what you think is socially acceptable. I started to see how Americans thought that guns should be legal and the right to bear arms, because the more people that have them, you need to feel safe by having a gun so you can protect yourself. So it's just an endless cycle. Some of my friends had different beliefs than I did, and it affected the free time they had to hang out with me. As an example, I had a friend named Aiden who was Christian. I would ask him if he wanted to have a playdate on the weekend, but he said he had Sunday school. This definitely affected my worldview, as I realized what impact people's beliefs had on their daily lives, and I started to see how different people really are. Next, I started high school. In high school, it started to become more evident on how different people value different things. For example, when you pick your classes, you could value math skills more than art skills, so you pick your block 8 to be math. Or when you have a spare, instead of watching Netflix, you could study because you value the time to study. My worldview on economy has just started to develop, because I'm now buying more of my own stuff. Since I was a baby, my parents have been buying me my clothes, food, and everything I need. That ties back to geography, where some people in the world may not be as fortunate and have to work when they're 5 or 6 years old just to support their family. My worldview on economy has developed from my working towards my own money. Overall, my worldview on geography has been developed the most, as I love to travel, and I've met lots of new people from many different places. My worldview on time has been affected by my perspective on how time has value, and how other people value time, and how they value it much differently from me. Going back to geography again, and how different people in the world with different beliefs and values value time much differently than I do. My knowledge has been developing ever since I started school, as I've been learning about the world in all my subjects. Knowledge broadens my worldview, as I learn about how some people in the world may be less fortunate. My society shapes my world by my knowledge of me having everything I need at my doorstep. We live in a society where we can walk maybe a couple 100 feet and get to a grocery store, while some other people may not have that and have to walk kilometers to get food. Our society makes us have tunnel vision because it's so easy for us, but so hard for different people.